Welcome. 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 Welcome to Satsang, our Wednesday family get-together, where we talk about what bothers us and how we get over being bothered by being bothered. I love you with all my heart. Muktananda used to start all of his satsang saying that. Robert started it by saying, welcome. I think sometimes he said, I love you with all my heart. So it's a standard greeting. Hi, Vijay. I see Stevie continues with this Corona haircut. I'm growing into a Corona haircut. Mark will never have a Corona haircut. Enrique doesn't have to worry either. I offered to cut Karima's hair, but she quickly turned me down. So little faith. I wanted to talk to you about your mind. One of the first things you have to do is not kill the mind or even make friends with your mind, but to put some space between you and your mind. Now, Robert talked about finding the gap, which is that interval between thoughts and also the state you exist in when you first wake up before you become fully conscious of the world and yourself in it. The gap, the place of no thoughts, where you're just resting in beingness. Actually, you can get to the place where the mind means so little to you that you're living in the gap all the time. All the time. And the gap is filled with amazing phenomena, energies, visions, bliss, love, and the mind and emotions. They're there too, but the primary focus of your attention is on the gap, on pure beingness. It's like being in a large swimming pool. Somebody swims by you. Somebody's rubber ducky bumps into you when you're standing in the water. But basically, your attention is throughout the totality of the water. Fish can swim in this pool. People can swim. If you go underwater, you can hear sounds underwater. You might even be able to hear your own heartbeat if you're still. But the gap, the beingness in you, you can try to find its location, but it's really hard. It doesn't have any constant location. Often it feels contemporaneous with the body. Other times it feels like the body is submerged in beingness. But the primary quality of beingness is happiness and also peace. They go together like this. The happiness is not the kind that makes you get out of the chair, jump up and down in joy. The happiness is feeling your own existence and watching the world and your body at the same time, and just enjoying that existence as a feeling of happiness and joy. Shaktis can come and go. Energies can go through you, causing ecstasies and bliss, even make the hairs on your arms stand up because of the intensity of bliss, make you not want to move for an hour for fear of ruining that peak experience of constant bliss. But after you've experienced the bliss endless numbers of time, it loses its luster. The energies decrease in intensity. They have a function which is to purify your body, your nerves, and your psyche. And when that's done, they tend to slowly go away and only arise at certain points to remind you that Shakti is still there, around you and in you. But then you notice at one point, you're just happy. There's no cause for this happiness. You haven't accomplished anything that day. No silver or gold stars for anything you did or accomplished. And you go and you sink in your beingness because there's nothing else to do. There's nothing you really want to do except sink into yourself. And when you do, you find such happiness. And within that happiness, a sense of elation or joy. And this state becomes a steady state because it seems like all the dreams and efforts of your life have disappeared. You're just happy being you. And you find too that you love people. You love animals. You love birds. You love listening to them. Because you can feel their life force eloquently saying, I am. Where's my mate? Where's my food? I am. I announce myself to everyone who listens. I am. And when the I am stops and you just rest in yourself, your body doesn't have the slightest bit of stress. And you're happy. Not a loud happiness. Very quiet, gentle happiness. And joy. And I might ask or add peace. You don't feel like doing anything. You become so lazy. If you didn't have to, you wouldn't even breathe. You don't move. You don't want to get up to eat anything. If you could get away with it, you just sit and pee in your pants rather than get up and ruin the happiness and peace to go to the John or the restroom, whatever you call it. And in this world of unfettered peace, joy, happiness, you notice the mind is still there. Sometimes it's doing its thing. But you look around and you notice in this world of beingness, there's no I to be found anywhere. There's no me to be found anywhere. There's no you to be found anywhere. These are conventions that we use to live our everyday life in the mundane world of normal human interactions. But in this spiritual world of unfettered peace, happiness, and joy, not only is there no use for these words or any words, but you can't find anything that they refer to because they're merely words with no reality that they point to. And you realize there's no need to have a me. That's a convention. There's no need to have a you, except to speak of love to somebody you love. I love you wouldn't mean much if you couldn't say I and you couldn't say you. So for communications purposes, there is an I and a you. But in experience, there is no I and there is no you. It's just kind of one beingness. And the differentiations are artificial. But the happiness is continuous. The joy is continuous. The peace is continuous. There's nothing you want to do. You get lazier and lazier. Karima comes up and says, this needs to be done. I don't answer. A few minutes later, something else needs to be done. I don't answer. A few minutes later, she says, would you like some chocolate? And I answer immediately, yes. I'm a hypocrite. Chocolate makes a difference, but not really. Imagine being so rested in your body that there's not a ripple of tension anywhere. so rested in your body that you're free to move your attention anywhere and find out all kinds of things, but you can't articulate them because the words haven't been invented for these internal states. And even if you invented them yourself, nobody else would understand you unless you taught them or they taught you. But there's continuous peace. There are no dark forces anywhere in the world. There are no forces of heaven in the world. There's just the world. And it's not what you expected it to be all along, all your life, because that world has disappeared. The world of names and forms is meaningless in this being the state that is your fundamental state of being a human and being conscious. So language is not anymore. The only good thing it's used for is, do we have any chocolate in the house? Can I have a cup of tea? Do you want something to eat? That's the function of language. It's also the function to be a little bit poetical and speak about the love you feel towards somebody else or your experiences of God as light and energy. Then you can wax eloquent and speak beautifully in poetic language. But it's only to inspire, not to speak to others about the meaning of life or existence, because you're only expressing your own experience and you're not pretending to talk about the nature of reality, of existence. You only speak to others of your own experience or ask them if you can help them or they can help you. Language becomes utilitarian and poetic, but never about truth. Never about truth. There is no truth. You'll find truth in mathematics, in equations, but in the real world, there is no truth. Now I love you. I say that frequently because I mean it and I want you to feel it. I want you to feel that you're loved by me. Mary, I love you. BJ, I love you. Michael, I love you. Maxie and Mark, Enrique, Jay, I love you. And when I say that, I don't know what it does to you. But once when a woman said that to me, who I love very much, something changed inside. And I gained a profound rest because for the first time in my life, I knew I was truly loved by a woman, which was sort of a stand-in for being loved by my mother. What an experience it is when you truly know you are loved by another, truly loved. To the depths of your own being, you are seen and loved. Now, I've spoken enough bullshit.